What's up, everybody? It's your boy, Coach Booker, in the building, man. Yo, check it out, man. Welcome back, man. We back for another show, man. Another show, man. We back like we never left. Back like I never left. Hey, listen. Hey, man, first of all, I always like to start my show off saying thank you, man. Thank you for the guys and the girls and the audience out there that continue to like, subscribe to our YouTube channel. Like us, follow us on Facebook, like us, follow us on Instagram. We appreciate you, man. Y'all motivate me, man, to get behind the mic, man, and just continue to do this thing, man. I really have learned a lot. I've been podcasting for a very short time, man. Just been podcasting for a very short time. Hey, just keep in mind, man, we're just out here to bring stories that maybe some other people don't know about. We want to shed light on some things that's trending out in the market, man. We're just a small, very small social media platform, right? The object of our platform is just to bring on people who would like to tell their stories, things that they have going on, people that are moving and shaking in the neighborhoods. That's what we're here for, man. We want to bring positivity to things that maybe some things that are very negative and maybe don't have enough insight on. People don't have enough information as to why things are like this or like that. So we like to sit down and we like to talk and we like to have real live conversations with people, man. So that's who we are right now. We are a very slow building platform, man. We're not trying to build. Sometimes when you build too fast, man, you create a different type of audience that you really don't want to be involved in. But the main thing we want to do is cover in our lane. We want to stay in our lane, and staying in our lane typically is middle school sports, some youth sports, but mainly middle school sports and some high school sports. So we kind of trying to stay in that middle school lane is the reason why we initiated building our sports media part of our platform. We also have our regular podcast platform. Well, it gets kind of sexy with our After Dark podcast, man, where we kind of dive into relationships. We kind of dive into mental health. We kind of dive into a lot of different things, man. I might have some guys coming on tonight, but I might not. Those guys, everybody's kind of on their little spring break, on their vacations. So, sometimes they want to take a break from being behind the mic, man. But for me, I just want to keep it live. But check it out. Hey, I gotta talk about my guys that's in college football right now. They're in the transfer portal. Let's talk about that real quick. I'll talk about them real quick. Transfer portal, man. Transfer portal is back open once again. We got guys moving from one college to the next because either they're not satisfied with their current situation, not getting the same, attention that they typically get. Either coming out of high school or they might have had some bad experiences, where they currently are right now. But the real transfer portal is open. We got transfer portals. They call in high schools when guys are going from one high school to the other, the transfer portal. That's not the real transfer portal. Okay. All right. It's not. They just say it for clicks. All right. And middle school, guys going from one middle school to another middle school, transfer portal. The transfer portal was typically designed for college athletes who are in situations that they're in situations that just don't fit who they are as athletes. Let's just put it. As a student athlete, they go to a college and they're not very sure that this is the best fit for them, or they had a bad experience and it's not the best fit for them. So they move on to perhaps another college. But behind that, along with that, is what we call NIL. A lot of people, what is NIL? Your name, What does your name mean to you? Your image, what do people think about you? And likeness, NIL. That's name, image, and likeness. What do people think about you when they hear your name? What is your image? What do they like about you? Do they want to invest money in who you are as a student athlete? So, along with the transfer portal comes name, image, and likeness. For those who are not there yet, that might be listening, that don't understand what the transfer portal is all about or what NIL is all about, just remember it's your name, your image, and your likeness. So it's super important, even as a young athlete, to be take a lot of pride in what your name means to you. When people say your name, what do they think about? Right? What do they think about what you do, your image? Do they like you? Right now, that means your name means a lot, and it can be a lot of money. It can be a lot of money involved in your name and your image and your likeness. So even as a young athlete, we as supporters of our student athletes, we should be shaping our young student athletes to be proud of who they are. Make sure they keep their name clean, right? Make sure they keep their name clean, because these guys now, these days, are becoming millionaires at 16, 17, 18, 19. They're becoming millionaires, bro. Early, early. And what parent don't want to see their kid thrive and be a millionaire, right? So, or thousandaire, when I was going to college, I was eating oodles and noodles. Now they're paying these athletes to come to their school, entertains thousands and thousands of people, be a part of their programs. So even right now, at the young ages of youth football, when you're 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, those young ages, those middle school ages, high school ages, hey man, you got to have those conversations with those kids about how important it is to keep their name clean, man, to keep their image clean, because it could mean a lot of money, excuse me, in a very short period. You can be a millionaire or a thousandaire, or you can get an education for free. Somebody's going to pay for your education for free because they like you, right? Because of your name, because of the way you've carried yourself as a student athlete, which is super, super important. Just as an athlete, to just stay, on top of your game, man, when you're out there. So name, image, and likeness means a lot. It means a lot. The transfer portal is wide open right now. And for those who think I'm talking about like a youth football transfer portal, I know we say it for jokes. That's cool. That's cool. That's cool. Yeah. Um, Middle school, no. High school, not really a transfer portal. College football transfer portal is wide open. We got a couple guys in there. Couple guys in the transfer portal that I have personal relationships with. They've decided to move on. They've decided to move on. Just not a good fit for them. I wish them all the luck. As a matter of fact, I want to mention one college athlete that I personally was able to coach, mentor, and guide. He was able to get a scholarship at the University of North Carolina. Um, he played on my national championship team at BFEK, Beatties Ford Elite Kids. Shout out, because we used to bust all y'all, excuse my language, we used to bust all y'all ass when I was coaching BFEK. You can put something in the chat if you ever ran up on them. Put something in the chat and tell me what the score was. Tell me what the score was if you ever ran up on them Beatties Ford Elite Kids BFEK athletes. Because last time I checked, I went undefeated for 3 years straight and won the national championship. So if you're gonna put something in the chat, let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. But anyway, I had the pleasure of coaching this athlete, man, Christian Hamilton. Christian Hamilton, one of the top athletes around here. Went to what was it, Hickory Ridge?
Hickory.
I think he went to Hickory Ridge High School. What's up? What's up, Chris? I'm just kind of ranting a little bit. So Christian Hamilton, man, love this kid, man. He went to the University of North Carolina. As you know, Bill Belichick was recently there. I mean, he's the most recent coach at the University of North Carolina. Yep, you heard me, Bill Belichick, right? So, Christian has been there for man maybe 2 years, maybe 2 years. I think he had a few injuries, not a lot of tape, not a lot of film just yet, but a lot of potential. He went into Carolina as a 4-star receiver. I think when he first went in as a freshman, I think he went in as a. Did he go in as a true freshman or did he redshirt? Hulk, you remember that? Did he? Did
I
Christopher?
think he went to true freshman.
He went in as a true freshman, man.
Yeah.
Sustained an injury a couple years in a row. So, unfortunately, he hasn't been able to produce like he typically has produced coming out of high school. So he's missed some very valuable years as a student athlete. And but he went into the transfer portal just yesterday, and already Christian is headed to West Virginia, at least on a visit. He's going to West Virginia. West Virginia reached out to him. I talked to his dad, man. His dad was a little bit nervous about going in the transfer portal. Everybody, his mom, all them, even Christian was a little bit nervous about going into the transfer portal, coming out of Carolina. He's going, when you go in the transfer portal, you're gonna leave some of your friends that you done that brotherhood that you established when you walk in those locker rooms. You're gonna be leaving some coaches that you came there to play for. You're gonna be, some of those are gonna, you're gonna have to leave some of those guys that you've gotten close with. But when you go in the transfer portal, you pretty much betting on yourself at the end of the day. You're betting on yourself. You're betting that I've done enough or I am enough to get into the transfer portal. And out of all the thousands of schools that's out there, somebody is going to pick me up out of the probably 9,000 kids that are in the transfer portal. So at the end of the day, you are betting on yourself. Am I right, Chris?
Right.
You're kind of betting on yourself when you go in that transfer portal. You're hoping that you've done enough at the previous university. You put up enough tape. They remember you doing the recruiting process. Coming out of high school, you hoping that some guys remember you in the recruiting process, and they look at you and they say, "You know what? I'll take a chance. We need some more receivers in our receiver rooms, or running backs in our running back room. We know this guy got a pretty good upside to him, so we're gonna bring him in. We're gonna take a chance, even though he may not have produced in that Power 5 arena, but we're gonna bring him in because maybe he had an unfortunate situation." We've seen guys, man. If you look right now, and I looked at this earlier today, you look at the guys that have gone from their previous universities to another, transferred to another university. I think they're like make up 90% of the top 10 going into the NFL draft. They make up maybe 90% of who's going to be getting drafted in the first round of the NFL. So some situations just aren't good for athletes. You have to move from that particular university to another university, and maybe that's a better fit for you. In a lot of cases, these guys are moving. Some of them are thriving and doing well. Some of them are moving and not doing so well, right? But you got to kind of bet on yourself and hope that, one of the recruiters or the head coach or position coach or somebody will bring you in and give you a fair opportunity to thrive. So Christian Hamilton, man, he's went University of North Carolina in the transfer portal right now as we speak, already being looked at by West Virginia, taking his visit tomorrow. As a matter of fact, he'll be at West Virginia on Friday and Saturday. So shout out to Christian Hamilton, man. You got to get these student athletes congratulations or good luck, because sometimes it is luck, right? And another athlete I want to talk about is we want to talk about let's talk about Markel Quick. Markel Quick. Had the pleasure of having him on my BFEK team as well. He was at North Carolina Central, true freshman coming out of North Carolina Central, and he has also taken that dive into the transfer portal. I talked to his dad. His ass is more nervous than the kid, which I was too when my kid went in the transfer portal. The shit makes you nervous. The shit makes you nervous when your kid goes into that transfer portal and it's 11,000 kids in the transfer portal. You know what I'm talking about? It's a lot of kids in that transfer portal, and you just gotta hope that somebody look at their film or remember them during the high school recruiting process, and they know that this kid can play, or we can use this kid at our university. So Markel, who had, I watched North Carolina Central the last couple of years. Now, I've always watched North Carolina Central, HBCU. If you're HBCU, you're going to watch North Carolina Central play ball because they've been playing ball pretty good in the FBS, right? And so Markel Quick, remember that name. He's in the transfer portal right now. He was one of my BFPK kids, and he's I haven't seen anything on him yet. His dad was like, well, like how soon do people start calling them? Well, typically the ideal thing is you want to already have a relationship with someone before you even go in the portal, right? You want to say such and such is already looking at me, and they told me if I go in the portal, they'll come get me. That's the ideal way to go into the transfer portal. However, that's not always the case. You understand? Sometimes you just got to bet on yourself going into that transfer portal. And I don't think Markel had any looks just yet or conversations that made him feel comfortable about going in the portal. He just, based on the conversation he had with his previous college coaches and his position coaches, he just felt like maybe North Carolina Central was no longer a good fit for him. But the key when you go in that transfer portal is to make sure that you still have a good relationship with that head coach. You still have a good relationship with that position coach, just in case you have to revert back to that receiver room or that position room. You know what I mean? It's good. So it's always good to have those good relationships, whether you're going into the transfer portal and your intention is to move, or you're going in there just to see what it's all about, because there's a lot of money, potential money in the transfer portal. Like I talked about before with the NIL, that name, image, and likeness, that money on the table, you want to see if you're worth more than just that Pell Grant money. You know what I'm saying? You want to see if, you got a little collectives. The collectives are out there, and they might want to invest in you a little bit. You know what I'm talking about? So you got to make sure you got to dive in there, see what's out there, maybe stay out there. A lot of guys are forced to the transfer portal. Some people jump in the transfer portal. Some people are forced to the transfer portal. Right, Hulk? That's how it works. So if you're forced to the transfer portal, that means maybe you got a new coach and he came in and the university wasn't winning, the program wasn't like it should be, or what the athletic director and the alumni would like to see it. They're not performing well, and then you bring in guys like a Deion Sanders, somebody like that. You bring in a new coach, and guess what he does? What they do when they come in? What they do when they come in, Hulk?
Oh, they get rid of everybody and they bring a whole new squad in.
That's right. They bring out the brooms. So the transfer portal, typically at some universities, when you see guys jump in the transfer portal, and you be like, "Oh, such and such just jumped in the transfer portal." Well, maybe he didn't just jump in the transfer portal. Maybe the coach suggested that they jump in the transfer portal. Why? Because if you were there when the team was losing and you were okay with it, and this coach is dead serious about winning right now, and you was a part of the mediocrity before he got there, then, and he want to win right now, he's going to go get some kids out of the transfer portal, That's some grown men that has 2-3 years of experience in college, maybe even 4 years, graduate students, and he's gonna go shopping. He's gonna go bring in those guys who have experience, going to study hall. He's gonna bring in those guys that know how to balance academics and athletics. That's how somebody that he doesn't have to. Those coaches don't have to manage, and they understand what the assignment is. Right? They understand what it takes to be a student athlete. Right? They're gonna go get those guys, and they're gonna go get those guys that has the upside that they need to build their program to win right now. So some of those guys that's in the transfer portal, they go in the transfer portal and they stay in the transfer portal and they go in the transfer portal and they never come out.
Yep.
And that's the dark side of the transfer portal, man. These guys can go in the transfer portal and they can sit in the transfer portal and nobody ever pulls them out of the transfer portal. And that's the unfortunate side of the transfer portal. Okay, and let's go back a little bit. So why does some of these kids end up in the transfer portal? Let's talk about that, right? So some of these guys who's coming out of high school, let's talk about the high school recruiting process really quick, right? So a lot of these guys go to the transfer portal because they chose the wrong university in the beginning. So they want to go to these Power 5 universities, right, Chris? And
Yep.
by the way, for those who are watching or listening, a lot of y'all listen to the show, but you won't click on the show, and I'm cool with that. We're cool with that. I'm comfortable. I just like to get on here and talk about things that you probably don't know about, whether you click on it or not. In listening, it's good information for people who have high school athletes, right? So a lot of these athletes are wanting to go to these Power 5. Who don't want to go to Alabama? I want to go to Alabama, LSU, okay, Carolina, okay, Wake Forest, ACC. Who doesn't want to go play football in the SEC, ACC, and say that they invested in you out of high school? Who doesn't want to do that? But is it a good fit? Does it make sense? Did you look at the roster? Or did you just listen to a recruiter who recruited you and he put you in that position room, but they never use you? They never use you because they went to the transfer portal. So you choose the wrong, you choose the wrong university, and then now you get redshirted, which is cool, I guess, but it's probably not the ideal thing to do to get redshirted, but it does help you have that additional year of eligibility. So, but you gotta have some film when you get to those colleges. And sometimes a lot of these guys that's in the transfer portal did not generate enough film. Am I right, Chris? They didn't generate enough film, but they know the situation looks bad. They might be 6th, 7th on the depth chart, and they may never hit the field. You don't get no film. And you in the train, but you decide, I'm gonna bet on myself. Sometimes when you bet on yourself, that shit don't work out, unfortunately. And you sit in the transfer portal, right? The new recruiting process, Chris, and I know you want to talk about that. So the new path and the new way to kind of navigate your way to getting recruited is you have to accept the fact that you may have to go JUCO. You may have to, and we talk about this all the time, but I think it's very important to be consistent about talking about it because there's a lot of people out there that just don't know. So we have decided to be very consistent on the lines talking about the new path for student athletes. Maybe your parent is listening, maybe a friend, maybe another athlete, maybe somebody is listening so they can have those conversations with you. Can't go Power 5, man. Chris, what does it take right now to get recruited out of high school and potentially be a Power 5 student athlete being recruited by one of the Power 5 schools?
You got to
What
be
kind
you got to be like a superhero, basically, like an Avenger. I mean, you got to be like one of a kind. Now, I mean, be honest. I mean, cause they don't look at things like they used to. It's a totally different ball game. Like you talking about kids getting portal. Like we had a spring game last week, and they probably at least 10, 15 ain't gonna be there no more. I'm be honest with you. And that's at a D2 school. So you can almost imagine what happens at a D1 school. Um, reality, if you do get a D1 school, well, really D2 to be honest, you ain't got but 2 years to prove yourself. After that, more likely they're gonna call you and tell you off the team. Go ahead and look.
right,
They're gonna put you in the portal. So you don't see no more like going to school for 4 years and enjoying the experience. Them days over with. Um, it's best it's best to like really be wise and pick your choice now because really you don't want to go to school and go like 3 or 4 schools in 4 years. I mean that's kind of a bad look now. But like I said, if you keep making bad choices, that's what's gonna happen. So best as you can, like be real with yourself. I mean, like you said, the Carolinas, Alabama look good, but in all actuality, like we talking about Christian. If you look at Carolina since Belichick got there, pretty much the whole team from last year gone. All of them hit the
right,
portal. If you didn't
right,
know this week, it probably been like 30 kids this week in Carolina hit the portal. So what
right,
Belichick basically started, he started from scratch. And a lot of schools like that, college, I'm seeing it now, especially since last week. College ain't like pro. Like, me and you to talk about this before, like in high school, especially around here. You got coaches be in schools for like 5, 10 years, don't never win a game. They ain't got to worry about losing a job. College
right.
ain't like that. You got 3 years maybe top. But if you're a position coach and your position looks bad, they fire you mid-season.
Right.
Now think about it, you ain't making that much money to start with, and here you is, you gone. You got to, you about to really lose your house trying to find another job off a whim. You know what I'm saying? Ain't like you go Indeed and find a job, another coach job that quick. So you got to be on point and calculated in everything you do. Now I see why, like since actually since Sunday, I probably talked to JUCO kids and Porter kids from all over the country, everywhere, all in California, Washington, state of Washington, everybody. Cause like right now we don't look at 25, we don't looking at it ain't that many out there, but then you got to like be special, like somebody better than a Porter kid. And like you
Right.
said, I mean, with these coaches, they're gonna go get a second string Alabama or Carolina kid before they get a high school kid. That's their
Right.
mentality. Ain't nothing you can do about it. You can
Right.
bitch, no one complain. It ain't gonna change that. Trust and believe.
Right.
So
Right.
now, like this y'all do a good job focusing on like the middle school and youth level. To me, it's critical now because these kids got to learn how to start training, start taking things serious at early age. That way, when they get in high school, they got to be on point. They can't wait to get on point the 12th grade year, and then they catching up on grades and talent. Nah, it ain't going down like that no more. It's a whole new landscape. I mean, you got to really, really know what you're doing. Like, like with Booker, he did Zion, he did it the right way. He went to FCS. He went and put up 1,000 yards. He hit the portal. That's really what you should do. Get on the field, perform. But like you're saying, though, a lot of kids get out there and they had bad habits of doing stuff in junior high, skated through high school all town to get to college, and they ain't wasting no more time with you now. Colleges ain't developing nobody. You got to come in
Right.
ready. Cause not
That
like I said, I've seen kids get kicked off the team before the first game of the season or the
I
first
love.
year.
I
Is that
love.
serious?
I love that. I love that. I love your insight, and that is, I love your insight, and because that is so true. That, and I'm gonna go all the way back to your comment because I'm gonna talk about the youth football here in a minute because there's some things I wanted to say with me being in youth football I've been in youth football since the '90s. All right, so I'm gonna talk
Hmm.
about that. But what's super important that you said already is that we dive right into youth sports and middle school and stuff like that, right?
Hmm.
These parents and coaches got to be very, very intentional about
Yes.
how good you want your athlete to be. How far do you really want your student athlete to go? How serious are you about, how adamant are you about your kid learning the game from U football six, because they're starting as early as 6U,
Mm-hmm.
7U, all the way up. They starting at that early. We understand at 6U and 7U that it's developmental. However, you can still set a culture, it's in a mindset. Even at that age, you want to get them in environments. The environments that they go in and the coaches that they're around is very, very important to their development, right? Don't
Mm-hmm.
play with it, because it if you don't play with it, then it creates a good habit. You're just creating good habits. Like every time I put my son in a program, it's a it's top of the line. The coaches in there are very disciplined. They very well educated. They very articulate. They You can tell that these guys study the game and they are about development, and they also are about winning, right? Because
Mm-hmm.
you want your youth football kid, middle school kid, high school kid to have what's better than to have that winning pedigree when
Mm-hmm.
you when a college when a university or college come after you, whether it's D1, whether it's D2, FBS, FCS, and they may ask you, tell me something unique about yourself, and you can tell them, look,
Mm-hmm.
on every level I've won. On every level I've won. I played for some tough coaches. I played for some tough coaches. I can't remember having a losing season. Then that coach right there is going to recognize you as this kid is probably a winner, has a winning
Yep.
pedigree, has good discipline. You know what I'm saying? They don't have to worry about whether this kid is ready right now or not, because most of it's mental anyway.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you have the mental ability to go to a school, a university, and be able to maintain good academics and a good work ethic off the field, you're a good locker room kid. Those are the kind of key. That's kind of what college athletes are looking now. Now, don't get it twisted. They looking for them dogs.
Yeah.
they,
Yeah.
Hey, they looking to invest in them dogs. But the
Mm-hmm.
more ready you are, you don't have to get ready. They don't have to
Right.
get you ready. They don't have to start from scratch. They can go back down your history and say, this kid's been balling since he was 6 years old. I see his bio going to social media, and trust me, they look at your social media, and they be like, this is a winner. They look at your family structure and all that. Everything comes into play, right? Especially with the NIL, right? So
Mm-hmm.
it's super important that you say, man, colleges ain't trying to get you ready when you get there. The
No,
expect
absolutely not.
the
No.
expectation is that you on the top side of whatever position you play. Is that right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So and you being D2, like you said, some of these guys, even the D2 programs, hey man, listen, man. Hey, you gotta show that you just had maybe a tough situation, bad situation, but you still have the work ethics, you still have good habits, you still have an upside about yourself that will make someone want to invest in you as an athlete, bring you in. You might have been in the FCS, you might have been in the FBS, and you just gotta change seats because
Mm-hmm.
because unfortunately, for whatever happened, whether it's due to injury, due to whatever, just a bad situation. Hey man, you have to go to D2, work your way back up, and
Mm-hmm.
you can still have a successful college career, right?
Yep.
But it has to start at the younger ages,
Yes.
right? Creating that habit and that mindset, right?
Right. Like you talking about I guess to separate great from good. That's one thing like now I say like a Zion Booker, Mark Hill, Christian Hamilton, KC, Hollywood, Bubba and all them. When I first met them in ninth grade, all the way up to I guess now, what separate them cat guys from everybody else that I know, they can voluntarily go work out 6, 7 days a week. You ain't got
Right.
to beg them. They do it on their own. You ain't got to say, hey man, you need to be here now. they want to be great. You have to force them to work out to do their job. Most kids now, majority, you got to like force them or like threaten them. Say, look, man, you need to do something. Nah, if you got to do all that, then really you wasting your time. Cause
Absolutely.
college ain't for the faint of heart. College ain't for the faint of heart. If you can't handle it now, you cancel Christmas in college. I mean, it ain't gonna work. Nah.
Absolutely.
You-
No, man.
College set up like kind of like a military. Like you gonna get up at like 4:30 in the morning, got to work out at 6 while it's cold outside. Then you got to like go lift weights, do study hall, eat, go to class a little bit, then come back and do football again. I mean, all days long to like maybe 9 o'clock at night. Nah, if you can't handle that in the beginning, like I say, you might not even make it to your first game, but they put you in the portal.
Right. You'll go in the portal. Unfortunately, you'll go in the portal
Hmm.
because you just continue those bad habits. You can't get it.
Yep.
You can't overcome them. You know why? Because you've been consistent with a bad habit.
Yep.
And a lot of times high school coaches don't have time to correct your bad habits. That's why all of it has to start when you're younger. When you're younger,
Yeah.
those they have to start right now. They have to start right now. When you start playing any type of sport, since we're talking about football, you start youth football, man. You got to get around guys, man. You got to get in these camps.
Hmm.
And you got to get in these camps, man. You got to create a habit, a work ethic that's above the next guy, the next kid. You got to figure out what does it take for me to separate myself as an athlete, right? You got to kind of evaluate your integrity, like your what you say got to line up with how you work. If you say you a
Hmm.
dog, if you say you a dog, then you got to be a dog whenever nobody's watching. When when
Right.
when nobody is watching, you still got to be that dog, right? Your words got to line up with what you say. You got to evaluate, the integrity, your integrity as an athlete. Who are you as an athlete, right? And you got and all that stuff is important. It may sound corny to some people. They feel like, I got time, man. Listen, I can see my son right now and some of these other athletes that I've coached. It's like it just they was just now youth football players. Now
Hmm.
they're fighting to have a professional football career right now.
Hmm.
So that shit
Yep.
goes quick. In other words, that shit goes quick, man. Then what are you prepared for? What are you prepared to do? Are you prepared to go back to mom or dad's crib? Are you prepared to get a job? Did you get that degree? Did you complete your education? Football is over with. You didn't make it. You wasn't part of that 1%.
Right.
So you know what I mean. So these guys got to get it, man. But you know what? The good thing I like about it is there's so much opportunity out there for a kid to continue to advance his
Hmm.
his his career. You know, like we
Yep.
we continue to talk about the D1, D2, JUCO. It's so many different uh, ways to navigate your way to getting to become a professional athlete. So, but it starts early. That's all I can say. It starts early, and you see it. By the way, man, let's talk about, man, what you got going on, man. And I ain't gonna keep you on here long because I got something I want to address. Some things that happen in youth football. You can stay on at some point, but we want to talk about your success, because you've been very successful around here. You know, getting student athletes to where they are, helping educate them to get to where they are, getting kids out of the transfer portal. I'm sure they constantly calling you to now
Hmm.
you're at Concord University in West Virginia. What the
Oh yeah.
hell? Yeah, this guy's in West Virginia, man. Let me tell you something. I used to drive to West Virginia with my job. I used to drive to West Virginia. Boy, that was some of the most gruesome driving, especially in the winter. That was some of the most gruesome driving in the mountains that I've ever done before in my life, bro. Like that was some
Hmm.
crazy shit. Driving in those mountains, and all you gotta do is make one wrong turn in the
Oh
mountains,
yeah,
and it will
yeah,
put you on a rural road with no signal, and you gotta try to figure
yeah.
that shit. That shit ain't
Yeah,
friendly.
you got them X's, and you got to, like say, you got to be paying attention to the signs when they say there's no out of bound, something like that. Don't get off the X. Keep
Yes,
straight.
sir. Keep straight.
Don't get off the X. 'Cause you might have to go around the mountain 15 miles out the way just to get back on the highway, and you going, nah, it ain't worth it. Nah.
Yeah, man.
But now I'm blessed. Like where I'm at, it's like right when you get into West Virginia. So I don't even get to the toll booths yet. It's like before. It's like a little bit past Bluefield and Princeton. So
Oh,
it
so
ain't
you're in Athens.
Athens, yeah. So that's like as soon as you get to West Virginia. So I ain't really got to go really all the
Yeah.
way up in West Virginia like that. But now
So you don't get
I was up the last, huh?
you don't get as deep into the mountains
Right.
as yeah, I get it. I get it. That's great.
No,
That's a
no,
good
no,
thing.
no, no. Let me say this though, bro. I was up the last Saturday for the spring game, and I'm glad I looked at the temperature before I went up there because I thought I could wear some shorts or whatever. I
No,
said, well, I
sir.
know I was some pants in the hood. I'd be all right. Man, I got up there, man. It was like lower 30s, man. I was miserable.
Cold
I
as
mean, it
shit.
was freezing up there and the wind blowing, but I was
That's
miserable. You
wind,
hear me?
West Virginia. But how's it going? I mean, you're in a different environment. You were recently at Butler, of course. More
Hmm.
recent than that, you was at Chambers and a few other places where you've helped athletes get to where you are now, right? So
Hmm.
you are at a location that most athletes probably need to pay attention to that because that might be
Oh
their
yeah.
new that might be their new path now. While you're there, do they automatically assign you to the North Carolina area, or where do they send you now as far as the recruiting process, or do you go further up?
Well, pretty much I got the 74 area, and I've been like talking like people, coaches in upstate South Carolina, and like different parts of West Virginia. But yeah, I mainly got really about all of North Carolina, but the 74 area. So I've been talking to coaches left and right. This like say right now, you know, the D2, so they still on 25 JUCOs and transfer portal kids.
Right.
So I probably get to know 26s probably another month or two. Before I really focus on 26. But that's another education thing. That's all D2s like that. You know what I'm saying? So like D1s, they always down to like what ninth graders with class of 28,
Right.
29, something like that. Nah,
Yeah.
D2 ain't that far ahead.
Great.
And like say, they one thing I learned from being on this side, we talk about recruiting a whole lot, and that now I kind of see how a lot of kids go unnoticed, under recruited, and some stuff we said before, I really see it now. Like I don't know if I want to give too many trade tips now, cause I might do like a seminar or something. Cause
Right.
the parents, but I mean, we got to do a better job of getting kids exposed. You know what I'm saying? Which we had a discussion a couple of shows back about like, we know coaches come by school and like certain coaches don't tell about all the kids. Well, I really see that now.
Right.
How it is now. Like with me, but see what helped me out is I know the game from both sides. So if I can't even talk to a coach, I can go talk to a trainer, or I can meet somebody in the community to find out. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Cause that's really gonna be the biggest thing. Like where I'm at, is find them under recruited gyms and everything.
Right. Right. So hey, I'm telling you, um, I'm almost I'm the open book for guys that don't know how to navigate their kid, or like parents. If parents give me a call, I'm gonna give you all the best tips possible on the recruiting process. I'm gonna give you the best tips on how to navigate your way through the transfer portal, if in fact you are in the transfer portal. Or some people end up being too scared to go in the transfer portal, and they continue to sit in their situation, and they kind of miserable in their situation
Mhm.
because they're not educated or well versed or articulate enough, or let's just say brave enough to jump off that damn cliff. Let me get my ass out of
Mhm.
here. Ain't working. So yeah, Or we got to let our egos go and say, hey, I got to change seats. I'm in Power Five or what is it? Whatever. FBS, FCS. I got to change seats from FBS to FCS. Some of them,
Mm-hmm.
some of them egos are won't let them do it. Or let's just say the money won't let them change the money. They chasing money, and you can't do that right now. If you want to continue to
Uh,
have a career and elevate in college football, or even coming out of high school, you can't be on the money chase because you're going to end up at a dead end, and your ass is going to be sitting in that transfer portal, and that shit
mm-hmm.
deep, and you got to be able to swim. Hey,
Oh yeah.
there's 11,000 people in there, and your ass got to swim, and you
Yeah.
are tread water because it's tough in there, man. Not to say that you can't make it out because you can, but you got to be willing to say, I'm gonna go to a Concord University, somewhere that you never thought you may end up. I'm gonna reach out to Chris Hawk and see if there's any opportunities for me to reset, to pivot,
Mm-hmm.
to pivot and go to Concord University in Athens, West Virginia, and work my way from there to navigate my way back through there. So some of these athletes have to understand that you may have to pivot, right?
Oh yeah.
You may have to pivot and step down. But hey man, I'm excited for you. I hope I know you're gonna be busy on Saturdays. Um, can talk about. I'm not 100% sure who's in your conference and what kind of football are you guys playing?
Um, I think West Virginia, Westland, Charleston. I don't even know all the teams in the conference. To be honest, not yet.
You
Um,
still you basically just walked in the door.
yeah, I'm still getting used to everything. So, I know a few teams in our conference, but like kind of go back to what you said about the transfer portal. That I'm gonna tell people that I know from experience. It ain't something I think about. It's something like I actually know. And you drop some diamonds on them. They better listen. Now, when it comes to getting into the portal, now like I said, some play people gonna get kicked off team into the portal. Like class example, like when you see kids like during season, like in game 3 or 4, and they all of a sudden get on Twitter or Instagram saying, "I officially entered the portal." 99% they got kicked off the team, but they ain't gonna say it.
Right,
But if you're in a bad situation, trust me, that's a bad situation. I advise you to leave, but then to be smart on where you're going to. Like I said, you might have to go back down a level to go back up. You got to be
right,
dropping pride. I mean, you got to cause you don't cause don't get that ego in there saying, "Well, I'm gonna stick it out and do this and do that." Nah, like I say, 10,000 people in there, man, and there ain't
right.
no joke. I mean, it's 10,000 people to pick from, so you need to be real about your situation and be parents and be reality. Like you see with the Nico situation in Tennessee,
Right.
get around people who know what they're talking about. Don't overplay your hand.
Right.
Know your market rate. Have my man At and Tony C and all them saying, know your market rate.
Exactly.
Don't try to jump in there like you say about money. Listen, people, everybody don't get to pay the same money when it comes to NIL. Don't think cause your kid going to school that they're gonna pay him X amount of money. No, they're not. You got to like come out of high school. You got to at least be like a 3 or 4 different 5 star to get certain amounts of money. And really, that ain't all guaranteed, depending on how you negotiate it in that little contract. And you better have a good lawyer with you when doing that contract, because you will get screwed. Um, they screw you big time. But that for the money that y'all see, that people see, a lot of this is food though.
Right.
Everybody ain't getting no money like not like that. I mean, like they talking about the dude that Michigan getting what 2 million already.
Yeah.
That's maybe less than one. That's like one out of 100,000 kids. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
That ain't real. You know what I'm saying? Everybody's not gonna get that.
Right.
Um, Even like if you do good at like college A, going to college B, you might get a couple hundred. I ain't want to say no dollar amount. The millions, everybody don't. Nah,
Right.
that's that's fairy
Very
tale. I mean,
rare. It's
that's
very rare.
very rare. Coach, very rare. I mean, very rare. You know what I'm
If
saying?
I, yeah, yeah, yeah. Let's talk about one. I do have a question, and I'm not sure if you dived into this or not since you've been at Concord. You just got, like I said, you just got there. Are there any opportunities for NIL in Division Two? In Division Two, are there any opportunities
Not a whole
or
lot.
opportunities for NIL in Division Two schools?
It depends on the school. I'm not gonna say it might be it's some, but it's not like okay. You got to go like think about the budget and what school make. Cause like basically with the NIL, it's not the school. It's like what do you call it, the NIL? What do you call it,
It's
the initiative, whatever they call that. The people work with like the boosters, whatever.
yeah, the
So
collective.
collecting, that's the word, collecting. Like
Yeah,
all them Power Five schools got $500,000 budget. The biggest myth is like when they tell you that they ran out of money, that's a lie. They might not want to pay you, but these schools don't go broke. Trust them.
right,
I, I could write a book and tell you some stuff I done seen, man. I'm talking about I done seen my own eyes. These ain't no Power Five school broke. They just got like a certain amount of money. They will pay a certain amount of kids. But now
correct,
with D2, they you got to think the stadiums ain't as big. They don't make as much the money D1 schools make. So it ain't gonna really be no lot of NIL money for D2 schools.
right,
They don't generate the revenue that a D1 school makes. Like
absolutely,
even like something like Liberty, bro. I don't know when last time you've been up there, man. The football and baseball stadium they got, man, is state of the art. They sell out every game.
right,
That's a Liberty. So you can picture like I know Tulsa didn't make money. I mean like the ACC, Big 12, man. Don't get me started on SEC, bro. The
right,
money they make. Um, so yeah, the money they give out ain't no D2 school making money like that.
right.
Nowhere close. To be honest, bro. You got
So,
some
so
schools making like go ahead.
no, so yeah, like, clearly, what you said makes sense because it depends on if you got a 70, 80,000, 100,000, whatever stadium
Mm-hmm. Stadium,
filling,
yeah,
you're selling it out, and you're getting plenty of revenue from that. You got a huge booster. You got a
yeah.
huge booster. You're fully connected with the collectives that are there, the businesses.
Concessions, parking,
Yeah,
merchandise. You got man think about, and that's
merchandising.
like a regular game. Just imagine at a big game like if I tell you for example like an Ohio State Michigan game. Okay, that's 110,000 in the stadium. Everybody paying over $100 for a ticket. Okay, then you got pregame people going to all them like okay different cities are made different. I don't know how people travel different games, but like in
Right,
Columbus, man, you got like 8 um, gear places, man. All the stores jam packed, buying jerseys, coats, everything. So they make
right,
money like that. Then they get there making money off the food and making money off the parking. So you can almost imagine the money they're making just off that one game.
absolutely.
So them imagine like at a 7 home games what they make. Then the money they're gonna make going to the playoff and the national championship. You know they get make money for that.
Crazy.
So that's like unreal. Man, listen, man. I was at Ohio State, man. They took a tour like up there with the luxury boxes in, like with alumni be at, man. They make more money than a lot of pro teams make, bro. That's why I say Morris, Claret, and all them got a raw deal. They should never should got punished, man. The much money they make, man. Nah.
Right. Some of them guys that was getting paid and wasn't supposed to be getting paid back then, and
You right.
I guess they stripped them of. Some of them got stripped of some things.
Yeah.
Some of them got
Mm-hmm.
some violations or some sanctions against the school or whatever. So yeah, you're right. And now here we are, 2025, and we got freaking college
Yes.
millionaires. We got college
Yes.
holdouts. We got guys holding out for a bigger
Yeah.
paycheck. And unreal.
And
Well,
think about,
Nico screwed himself. He screwed himself for
oh, he
that.
messed up, but yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. He
He took
shouldn't
some
have done
hold
that.
out and practice and all that, man. He shouldn't have done that, man.
Yeah, he shouldn't have done that. He screwed himself. But in his defense, he's being represented by someone that's a little greedy to me. If he has an agent, and that was my best take on it, or my best guess. This guy has an agent that's probably getting 10 to 15%, probably I'm gonna say on the high end of that because if you're going after
Mm-hmm.
$4 million, your agent probably is on the high end of 15, maybe 20% because there's no cap on a lot of college these college agents that's representing these kids and in these colleges. There's no cap. In the NFL, there's a cap. You can only make a certain amount as an agent. You can
Mm-hmm.
only go so far up. But because of the transfer portal and the NIL, there's no cap. So for him to go after, tell a kid to hold out and go after $4 million, $4 million plus or whatever, and you're not even the top. You're not even a top 10. I don't know where he falls within the quarterbacks from last year or even this year. Are you the number one? Now, he is the number one guy that's in the transfer portal right now. He's the number one
Oh
name
yeah.
in the transfer portal. He's the top guy. So somebody might pay him the money, may not pay him the money. I don't know. Looks like, I don't know. Is it real that he went to UCLA or UCLA willing to pay
No,
him
no,
a,
no. I think yeah, I think he signed with UCLA.
huh?
And I think he did sign with UCLA.
Yeah, so if he signed with UCLA, looks like he was $1.7 million or something. Listen, here's the deal. Let's talk about the real deal, and we're gonna be done with it. If you are a college athlete and your ass is getting any type of NIL money, first of all, your ass getting a free education. Number one, that's a lot of money. Your parent does not have to pay those thousands of dollars for you to get your education. That's a lot of money. And then even if you're getting, let's say, $25,000, $15,000, it's still a lot of money. You don't have to eat oodles and noodles. When I went to
Oh
school,
wow.
bro, I was struggling. Most of us was struggling trying to get through school, begging mom and dad for money. If you're getting paid to play football, no matter what it is, and you're in college, man, you're doing a great job. For people to be making $1.75 million, $2.5 million, man, it's insane for you to even think that that's a failure. People, I read stories about them saying that this kid Nico was an epic fail. It was an epic fail for him to go from $2.5 million where he was. I think that's where he was, somewhere around there, to go down to 1.75. Hey, listen, man, that man swung for the fence. He reached for the stars. He had some bad advice. I think it's a bad decision. That mother, he's still a millionaire at
He's still a millionaire, yeah.
18, 20 years old. If that,
Yeah.
he's a millionaire. These kids are
And,
these kids are making millions of dollars, and y'all want to call it an epic fail? They're making 300, $400,000. Even if you making $100,000, it's not an epic fail, man. It's a great
no,
opportunity.
absolutely not.
No, man, come on, man. These kids are making more money than their parents.
Yeah. Hey, Book, I'm gonna give 2 points because I know you about ready to go. But Nico, the biggest thing what messed him up was he had a bad second half of the season. Okay,
Right.
you like me. You look at pro football. We both Cowboy fans, so you realize like in pro football, what you do is kind of like determine your contract.
Yeah.
If they would have like won an SEC championship or they like made a strong push for playoffs, Tennessee would have paid him that money. But he was like almost, I ain't say awful, but he was like he wasn't good. He didn't do good his second
Right.
half of the season.
Right.
So you got to think with the people paying the money, like wait a minute, bro. You didn't deliver it all. Like how he looked at the beginning of the year, especially when they played NC State. The second part of the season, he didn't look like that. Period. He fell off bad. So he should probably should like done it again another year, let him fall, and he'd have got the money. So that's what I'm saying about advice. They're gonna pay you on how you perform. That's the whole NIL thing. Is how you perform and like can they make money off of it? That make any
Right.
sense.
Oh no, I
So
mean,
that's the whole. That makes the whole. That's what the whole thing is. They if you're like a top player in the conference, they're gonna win a game. You'll get whatever you want, but you can't fall off. Team lose like three of the last four games, and your progress is ain't there. Nah, man, they ain't like you look. And then that 2 million, that's all you gonna get. And then like you saying, bro, a lot of people must not go on these. like football visits and see how these guys are doing, like at the Tennessee,
Yeah,
Ohio State, Florida, Alabama. Man, listen, I've been all the schools. If I were making no money, everything you get is free.
yeah.
Everything you get is free. Like in Alabama, and that football center, man, they got like a dentist. They got their own doctors. They don't have to leave the football center for nothing. Then you talking about you gonna pay them 2.5 million, and like that could might then like NIL, you might get like deals like the dude Dart from Ole Miss. He had a deal with a private jet company,
Yeah,
basically saying like wherever fans want to go to, they can get on a private jet for free.
right.
The running back at Atlanta now, when he was at Texas, he had a deal with a Lamborghini company, bro. You said that man getting Lamborghinis, a different Lamborghini every 3 months, man. But
Come on.
and you complain about what? You
What
in
do you?
college, you don't pay for nothing already. Wherever you go to, you go to a 5-star steakhouse. You don't pay nothing, man. They see you eating free on the house as long as you go in there and smile and sign an autograph. You ain't
The
got to pay nothing, man.
neighborhood, so the community that you're in, and the neighborhood, and the city, and the state that you're in, if they know that you're the guy, this is the top running
Man,
back for University of whatever, Tennessee,
yes,
Carolina, whatever, you basically walking around there for free. You know what I'm
yes.
saying? All you got to do
You a
is
celebrity.
all you got to do is work. You're a celebrity. You're a local
You are
celebrity.
a celebrity.
All you got to do is keep working. All you got to do
When
is
Booker
keep.
get out there, hey, when the season start, Booker do what I think he can do. Well, if he didn't do what he did last year with Western Carolina and Tulsa, he ain't got to pay for nothing. Listen to
Right,
me. I ain't talking about the money he already getting. I'm talking about this like him going somewhere. He
right,
ain't pay for no food. They just recognize the gas. They ain't got to pay for no gas. Nothing. He can go places people be want to pay. This so he can be around him. They gonna pay for it. This so he can get a picture with him. That,
bro.
man, the clap they get, man, is unreal, man.
I am
It's
super
unreal,
proud.
bro.
I'm super proud of these athletes, man, that just does the right thing, man. That go
Mm-hmm.
out, they work, they get the trainers, they get the right trainers, they continue to
Yep.
train, they work, they continue to work because they understand their assignment, right? They understand where they are, where they need to go,
Mm-hmm.
and they see other athletes now, and they see what it takes to get to the NFL or to a Power Five or to get into that arena where they know this is a football factory. It's a football
Yes.
factory going Arkansas, Texas,
Yes.
uh, Tulsa, Oklahoma, Ohio. They just need to get in that arena, somewhere around that arena where football is big, where the recruiters, the NFL got scouts are coming all the time. They're at your
Mm-hmm.
I'm proud of these guys that finally get to those arenas to where they can play. Some of these guys from Charlotte, it's so many of them now that's learning
Yes.
how to navigate their way, and they've navigated their way, and they've reached back and talked to guys like yourself, and talked to me, and talked to other guys that can continue to educate them on how do I get through this, because at the end of the day, it's all mental. If they can get through it, it's a mental process. It can be very taxing mentally, and it can be very taxing physically. So you got to be able to balance it all. And hey, man, I'm super proud of the kids here out of North
Oh yeah.
Carolina
I am too,
that
man.
made it, and even the kids across the country who are come from some less fortunate environments, right? To where
Mm-hmm.
mom didn't know, it's time, mom didn't know she was gonna get the last meal, how she was gonna be able to take care of them, no gas money, car breaking down, just didn't have the financial means. And in today's society right now, economically, man, if you can get your kid to get into a college and a university and get a free education and make money that he can send back now and take care of mom, we don't want to we always we don't want to make it seem like I told my kid, you don't have to buy me a new house. I'm cool. I'm
Mm-hmm.
good. I want you to be able to take care of yourself. I want to see you be set for the rest of your life, right? I'm good with the environment that I'm in, right? You don't want to make it seem like they have to do it. It's that type of stress on an African American
Right.
kid to be able to go back and have to buy their mom a house or whatever. If that's what they
Mm-hmm.
choose to do, you want it to be a choice that they made, not something that they feel like they're obligated to do. And I always hear my son say, Mom, I just want to get you, whatever you want, a bigger house or whatever, whatever. Nah, we're good. It's just two of us. It's just mom and dad. We don't need no big house or nothing like that. You know,
Yeah, man. Y'all already got a mention anyway, man.
nah, man, we chilling. I just want to see them kids be happy, man, and reward
Oh yeah,
themselves
yeah.
and have fun doing it, right? And have fun in that world, that college football world, and perhaps maybe the NFL, but always have on their mind what's going to happen. What do I need to do if I don't make it? At least I have some millions in the bank. You
Hmm.
know, at least I've saved. I got thousands in the bank that can give me sort of a head start on what I want to do after college, or if I don't, make it to the NFL or like that. So, man, I'm super proud of these guys, man, and good luck to you, man. Super proud
I
of what you
appreciate it,
got
bro.
going on, man. Good luck to you, man. Come back and get some of these athletes, Hulk. You know,
Oh, I
kind of
am.
athletes. I know you coming back, big dog.
Oh yeah, no doubt, man. Oh yeah, no doubt. And that's the thing too about since you brought it up, like with D2, there's a myth about they don't give full scholarships like D1. Well, a scholarship can be an academic scholarship. You know
That's
what I'm
right.
saying? The key, okay, now like when it comes to grades, and this is something I learned. You had Tanya Tosin on as a guest. So I learned with her and Robert when we was at Mount Allen. Like now, I really see in D2, like now your GPA gonna really matter on my level because the higher your GPA, the more money you get. You can get
Absolutely.
up to a certain GPA and go to play for us for free. Like at Butler, we had a running back. He going to West Virginia Western. He ain't paying a dime, bro, because
That's
GPA was high enough.
right.
So, but now you can't have grades all jacked up and not a D2 level. Now you can be D1 and you that dude, you that Avenger, and get a 2-3 and don't have to worry about that. But that's only at that level like that. Now,
Right.
where I'm at, now you gonna have to grades got to be decent. But then too, you still got to be a dog because, like you saying, with the transfer portal and everything else, that competition's fierce now, man. It
Oh
ain't like
yeah.
it used to be.
You can't underperform. Period. You can't.
Yeah, and then too, like a D2, and look at it, Tyreek Hill at the Miami Dolphins, he went to D2 school. Um, there's a DB from Lenore Ryan went the second round to the Patriots. He won Super Bowl ring. Then there's a
Wow.
dude from Fayetteville State, I can't remember his name. He said he's still in the rotation with the DBs at Kansas City. He got 2 rings. So, like you're saying, if you're that dude, you can go pro anywhere because they got scouts coming everywhere. And then with the internet and computers, they can find talent. So you might can go pro sometimes better from a D2 or SCS than you can from D1 because
Yep.
you can shine better where I'm at than going like an Alabama and being like a third string, barely get on the field.
And
So I
like
mean,
Deion Sanders said, if you can ball,
you can ball,
you
they
will
gonna find you.
if
They
you
gonna
can
find you.
ball, you will get the
Yes,
call.
sir.
Yeah, you will get the
That's
call.
right.
That's right. So they'll call you, man. If you can ball, you'll get the call, man. So yeah. Hey Hawk, we've been on here for a little bit. I got
Okay, bro.
one other thing I want to address, man. And with some youth football, some of my youth football family, I'm gonna address that and then I'm gonna get out of here, man. But it was nice.
Yeah, I'm about to get off.
Yeah, but no,
But
it
hey,
was
good talking to you though, brother.
great talking with you, man. We're gonna load this thing up again from week to week, man.
Yes,
Whenever
sir.
you get on with us, if you ain't too busy, man, we love the conversation. We love the education that you do, but with these college athletes and high school athletes, man, and keep it coming. And we'll chop it up next week.
No doubt, brother.
I appreciate you.
All right, be good, my man.
You too. Yep, that was my man, Chris Hawk, man, one of the top high school college recruiters in the country, I'm gonna say, man. I'm giving him his flowers, man, because he's been at it for a while. He's moved up. He's been in high school, and for quite some time now, he's moved up to college, and he's done a really good job of getting athletes into schools, man. I want to talk about my youth football family, man. They out here wilding, man, in youth football. As much as I love youth football, man, and I do love youth football. I've been in youth football for quite some times, man, since the early 2000s. 90s, man. I've been out here, man, really enjoying my journey through youth football, man. And I think I give everything that I have, and I have given a lot to youth football. When I go out to a football field, to a football stadium, to a youth football event, man, I really look forward to seeing young athletes perform on the football field, right? And and I can almost recognize some of the kids that are really locked in, and they really want to make it. I always ask the question when I get in front of my kids, because right now I'm coaching some 10-year-olds. I got some 10-year-olds in front of me a couple days a week. And I always ask them, how bad do you really love the game? How bad do you really love the game? And you can look in their eyes and they raise their hand and say, I really love football. I really love football. I love football. And you can kind of tell the ones that really have the passion by the way that they move around, by how dialed in and focused they are. Right. So I get excited about that. Not just my athletes. I get excited about going out to some of the 7-on-7s that they have for youth football, some of the spring tackle football games that they have going on these days. But man, let me tell you something. The one thing that you Negroes gotta stop doing, man. This weekend, man, this past weekend, there was a damn all-out brawl in youth football. And it happens all over the country. And I really don't want to highlight this. And I'm not even going to pull it up. I'm not going to pull it up, right? Because I'm tired of looking at it. It's all over everywhere. It's on all the youth football groups. The shit is on all the youth football groups. It's on Pop Warner groups. It's on the AYF groups. It's all over. And it's absolutely embarrassing to see youth football parents, coaches, kids, women, men brawling at a youth football field, bro. Like, it's terrible. Is that and if you Negroes think this shit is okay, no, man, it ain't okay. It's not okay, man. It's not okay to come out to a youth football game and just get into an all out brawl, a melee. People swinging at people that they don't even know. They swinging just because they swinging, because everybody's swinging. And the shit look like WWE, WWF. People on the ground getting drugged. Women getting drugged on the ground. Men getting pulled out of the what they call it, the rumble, the rubbish. Excuse me. It's embarrassing, man. People getting trampled. And guess what? The kids are watching us. We're the example. Football coaches, we're the example, man. Hey, I'm sorry. When you become a youth football coach, hey, regardless of whether you want to be a mentor or not, visually, you are a mentor to these kids. They're listening to you. They're listening to your direction. They need you to help them navigate through this their young world of trying to get through youth football, right? You continue to help them build character. But when they see your ass out here wilding in the middle of the field, hitting, just swinging and fighting in the middle of a youth football game, right? And I'm talking very passionate about this fight, because it hit home. Right? It happened at a football field that my 10U football team here in Charlotte, we traveled to Clemens, North Carolina, Clemensville, right? Winston-Salem, basically around that area. And we traveled there Saturday morning. We played about 10:15 Saturday morning. We played a game at a football field and Clemens, right? And I ain't really trying to call nobody out. That shit's over with. Go look at the video. You can look at it for yourself. You can see the content yourself. I ain't trying to embarrass nobody. I ain't trying to call nobody out. The hell with that. You are grown. Y'all know who you are, right? And everybody at that football field has some choices to make, right? You had some choices to decide whether you want to get involved in a fight in front of these kids, knowing what in today's climate right now, fist fighting is not very popular. Why? Fist fighting is not very popular because right now, when you get in a fight now in today's climate, these guys are playing by different rules. Everybody is playing. A lot of these guys are playing by different rules, right? And you can end up in a melee, in a fight, in a brawl, and it's 100 people, 50, 60 people fighting. And the next thing you know, the worst, it's damn gunfire, right? Although that didn't happen, and I'm very blessed and thankful that we decided to fight, that the people there decided, you know what, there's no need to pull out the tool. It's too many kids out there. There's women walking around with babies in their hand, and it was just a fight, but it still looked absolutely awful, right? And was one of and we can talk all the shit we want to. It was one of the organizations that's a very, very popular, one of the top organizations in the state of North Carolina right now. Period. One of the top. I'm very disappointed that it was them, but it just so happened to be them, right? So everybody want to know, well, what happened? Shit, I've talked to a lot of the people that was involved. I got the story. Trust me. I did my homework. I got the story. We I was thinking about getting on here and airing it out, talking about it for real, showing it on the screen. Now that I've talked to everybody, I don't want to do that shit, man. I want to talk about the solution. What's the solution? What's the solution to being able to come out to a youth football venue and to a safe environment and being able to watch our kids entertain us? What's the solution? How do we get that? How do we create that safe environment to where we can potentially prevent it? And some of it's not preventable. We can't prevent everybody. Some niggas just gonna act like niggas. And I ain't saying just niggas, because it's some white folks that's done shut down some venues too. So I ain't just talking about just African American people, right? Because I went on the internet and we've seen it for years where it's brawls at baseball games. All right. It's brawls at soccer games. It's brawls at lacrosse games. It's happening across the country. But we're talking about in my area right now, right? What do? I'm going to tell you where it starts. This is just my opinion. And if you have something to say, you can say it in the chat. It starts with the people that are hosting the event. Right? There's certain measures you should take before you open the gate. Before you decide to have this event, this football event. If you know you got people coming from out of town, not from the same neighborhood, they coming from out of town, there's a lot of them traveling. Man, you got to take care of those people, man, who spent their money. They're going to spend their money at your gate. They're going to spend their money at your concession stands. They pay their fees to be a part of your league. They pay their money to be a coach because you're charging for badges, which you should. I understand that, right? Why do we buy badges? Why do coaches buy badges? So you'll be able to get on your sideline and they can identify you at the gate as a coach. They can identify you as someone that's approved to be on the sideline coaching your kids. That's what the badges are for. Team moms, we need them. We love them. We got to have them, right? So we got our team mom badges. You charge us for it. You got our doggone coaches badges. You charge us for it, and you're not gonna let us in without those badges. Okay. So if we buy the damn badges, if you buy a damn badge to play in the league, and then you get on the sideline, and everybody is on the sideline whether they got a badge or not. That shit's not cool. These is for the people that are having the event, whether it's in no matter where you are, city or state you're in. If you have a badge and you've been awarded a badge, then the people at the venue should make sure that the only people that are on the sideline, they have a badge, man. Otherwise, you have to be behind the barriers, behind the fence, not on the track. You have to be behind, either in the bleachers or behind the gate, behind the fence. That's not happening. That's not happening, man. We got parents on the sideline while the coaches are coaching. We got parents damn on the bench. We got parents that's sitting there with their kid on the sideline. Well, if you have a fence and some bleachers, then bro, you got to make sure as an event coordinator, to keep the event safe, to keep the team safe, to keep the kids safe. You got to make sure those damn kids, those parents are behind the freaking fence. That's not happening. It didn't happen at this event in Clemens. It didn't happen. It didn't happen at this event. It was parents on the sideline. And the other part of it is you have to get certified referees to referee your games. You got to get referees who's gone through a certification process, and they're certified to referee these games. Right? I'm not so sure that we're getting certified referees at these football games. Right? I think every referee typically goes through a certification that allows them to be able to coach youth football, high school football, and beyond. I think there's different referee groups that referee these games. Man, when you go out there, man, you got referees that barely moving from their spot. They ain't moving. They're not controlling the game. All they're doing is every now and then they might make some calls. They're not even moving. They're not moving with the football. This game is fast. It's up and down. When you got referees that's not even moving with the action, bro, you got to get the best referees, man. You got to keep the game safe. When the game is getting tense and there's a lot of tension on the field, you got to have qualified referees on the football field. Man, the hell with some of these damn referees. And I'm talking shit, but I do walk the sidelines and I do hold referees accountable. And that's when they want to challenge you, is when you're trying to hold the referees accountable. But some of these referees are very lazy. Some of the referees are lazy as hell, and they call it when they call it, or they're not paying attention. You see some of them looking at their phones, during the course of play. They're not paying attention. Right? So this weekend, this right here, to me, this incident that happened in Clemens, North Carolina, was a result of not having the best referees. And I'm not saying you're going to get the best referees every time you go out, but you got to get referees that can move around, bro. Like, you got to get referees that can notice there's a lot of tension on the football field, and we need to control that. We need to control. How do we control that? By making sure that our sidelines are clean, making sure that our sidelines are in control, right? Making sure the coaches are good, making sure there's no parents on the sideline. How do we do that? Pull a damn flag. You see people with no badges, or at any point You can do a check to make sure that everybody have badges, but I still leave that up to the event coordinator. The event coordinator need to periodically have either security, not security. I think you got to have armed police officers or sheriff, and I know that shit costs, but you got to have police security, not police. You need, I mean, armed police officers. Excuse me. You got to have real police officers and sheriffs at these football games, man. You can't have these damn security guards at the game, bro. You can have them at the game, but you got to put them to work. You got to put them to work. You got to have them to walk the track. You got to have them to walk the sidelines to make sure that your sidelines don't have a bunch of people that are not approved to be on the sidelines, man. And y'all ain't doing it, bro. Y'all ain't doing it because that's the reason why, part of the reason why this brawl was able to happen so quick, because you already got parents that's on the field, on the sideline. So what happened was, let me get to what happened from what I understand. And I ain't going to get too deep in it. The shit is over, and the events coordinator, to me, got to do some shit about it. Period. You got to do something about it. You got to get it. Number one, I think you need to get some scanners, to be honest, but I know that shit costs. And I understand you sometimes you don't make a lot of money, and there's a huge overhead of expenses involved in running these venues, and I get it. But it is what it is, man. If that's what you need to keep these families safe and keep these kids safe, that's what you got to do. So a kid gets knocked out of bounds. Kid gets presumably he gets hit late out of bounds, right? So he gets hit out of bounds. He jumps up. He's pissed off, and him and the other kid scuffles. They get into a scuffle. So him and the other kid gets into a scuffle, and then another teammate, I think, came in, grabbed the kid. Somebody slammed somebody, whatever. And then from there, I think a coach may have pulled one of the kids off the top of another kid. And then we got parents who are in close proximity. They see what's going on. Right? They see what's going on. So next thing you know, we got parents jumping the fence. Right? You got parents jumping the fence trying to stop coaches from grabbing their kid. It's a fight. The game is tense. You know, there's high emotions during these games, but this right here was a result of the freaking referees not being able to control a football game, because in this brawl, you don't see any referees at all. The referees, I don't know where the referees are. I guess they took off running. And it's probably the only time they did run, because when I was there, I barely saw them moving. They barely moved. So this is probably the time where they did take off running, because this right here was merely a call that you see in almost every football game where somebody gets hit, laid out of bounds. It should have just been a flag. And when the kids started to scuffle, the referee should have been able to go in there, break it up, pull the kids away. But problem is, I think we had a parent or that might have not, that shouldn't have been on the sideline, grab one of the kids. And then another parent saw, oh, they just grabbed my kid. Oh, they put their hands on my baby. And the next thing you know, you got an all-out damn brawl. This some bullshit. Because there should have been enough police security to stop what happened, bro. That's period. To me, I can't blame this on nobody else, but the event coordinator got to put the right barriers in place for this shit to, that fire should have been put out quick and right away. Sometimes it's beyond our control, and there's some people that had some choices not to throw punches. That's on you. Shame on you if you threw punches. And I talked to one of the guys out there, and I like this coach. He's out there for one of the Giants coach, one of the Giants coaches out there for really good intentions, man. He putting in the work with the kids. He's putting in the work with the kids. Shout out to my boy, my coach Walt, putting in the work with the kids, man. And like he told me, man, I'm doing everything I can, man, to try to give back to the community, man. Trying to stay positive, man. Trying to learn the game. He's trying to do all the right things to just be involved in these kids' lives, man, and learn the game at the same time. So shout out to Coach Walt. I talked to you. You can, of course, you can be very misunderstood when you get involved in stuff like this, when stuff like this happening, right? So shout out to Coach Walt. Some of these other guys that was on your sideline had no business on your sideline. I'm gonna tell you that. That's on you, Coach. Before that game starts, or even when it starts, if the game is in the third quarter, you got to keep your sidelines clear, Coach. I can tell you that, and I know it's a huge responsibility to be a head coach and try to maintain what's going on around you, but that's the reason why you got assistant coaches. You got to make sure your sideline stays clean from coaches or parents that has no business on your sideline, because it puts you in an unsafe environment. It's up to you to keep your sideline clean. It's up to you to keep your sideline safe. That's on you, Coach. I love you for everything you're doing for you football and all you football coaches, but y'all got to keep your sidelines clean, because we had parents come from one side of the field to the other side of the field. We got parents running on the field from one side to the other. How did they get there so quick? Because they asses wasn't behind the fence. And then we had females jumping the fence. We had elderly, older men, OGs, everybody saw you out there, You a dog though, cause hey, listen, you ain't put you ain't put them hands away yet, boy. Hey, listen, hey, Unc was trying to throw some hands out there, bro. I know it ain't funny, but you should have stayed back. From what I understand, you had your maybe daughter or granddaughter on the ground, and your intentions was to try to help her get up. I think she wasn't supposed to be on the sideline either, from what I understand, along with a lot of other coaches and parents. And it just turned into a damn big ass fight. But you was one of the most notable ones out there, bro. You was one of them, but you was out there. You didn't just go down to that fence for no reason. You went to protect your people, and we get it. And you got and you look like you was doing the wrong thing, but you really was trying to protect. But on the camera, in the public opinion, you shouldn't have done that, right? And you should have put up some defense too. You got to work on your defense. But I admire you, man. Unc went in there for the, you know what I'm saying, for the 1-2, tried 2-piece, and then we got some guy that swung on him, which I ain't really cool with that. I ain't really cool with you hitting Unc like that, man. You know that's an Unc, man. You can't. I ain't cool with what he did to Unc, bro. And, he kind of dazed Unc a little bit, but I gotta give it to you, Unc. You still got that chin. You ain't really got that glass chin. You could have got knocked out, but hey, if that would have been a fight, Unc probably could have recovered from that, bro, and it would have been on. But it just looked bad, man, and we got to do better, man. This shit don't be happening in Charlotte a lot. That's why I was shocked. It don't happen in Charlotte. It doesn't happen in Charlotte a lot. I haven't seen. This is probably one of the worst brawls I've seen. It don't happen in Charlotte, man. We got to do better, man. We got to do better, man. I'm not even going to show. You can go find it yourself if you want to see it. But, it don't happen in Charlotte a lot. Listen, if you're going to have these, and let's talk about this spring football. Everybody says, all I hear is just spring football when it comes to the performance of the teams and the way they look and the way they're performing and the effort that you're putting in the spring. You hear people say, it's just spring football. Well, what the hell is spring football? What are you having spring football for if it don't mean shit? I ain't with that. I ain't really cool with that. If we're gonna put these kids out here, man, we gotta train them up. We gotta get our teams prepared to compete. And we gotta get these athletes built up just like we would the fall. I'm gonna train my kids for the same way I train them in the spring. It's gonna be the same damn way I train them in the fall. It's gonna be the same way I train them in the summer. Hey man, it shouldn't be. It's just spring football. Well, what the hell we playing spring football for? I hear people say, "Well, spring football is just for development." What the hell do you mean? It's just for some of those kids. Nah, that's bull crap. That's bull crap. That's bullshit. Because some of you guys are taking receipts for the spring. Y'all holding up. If y'all hold up a trophy, your ass is gonna brag. If you beat somebody, you gonna be bragging. If it's just spring, then what you bragging about? If it's just spring, what's all the social media beef and wars? If it's just spring, you full of shit. Train your damn teams up just like you would. Train them kids up in the spring just like you would the fall. This is the time. Just train them up. I'm gonna try to put the best product out there that I have in front of me in the spring. I coach a 10U team, the NC Ducks, by the way, and we coming. And I'm telling you right now, we coming. We don't have a lot of kids just yet. We building the team, but I got some dogs. I got some dogs, and we coming. But seriously, I'm gonna train them damn kids up just like I would the spring, the fall. It's the same shit, man. That's what I'm here for. That's what all you coaches here. We ain't playing with this shit, bro. We can get somebody hurt, somebody injured. Let's not play with it, man. These kids are here for a reason. They want to perform, and they looking for the coaches to put them in the very best position to perform. Right? And then they get out there and they entertain us. There's no excuses for you to say it's just spring. Oh man, we lost, man, because it ain't nothing but the spring, man. It's just spring. Bullshit. If you win, you're gonna get on social media and talk shit. So it ain't just spring. For real. To me, I want to win the spring. You know why? If it's for nothing else, I could give two shits about a spring trophy. Right? I could give two shits. But if I can put my kids in the best position to win the spring, then I'm gonna try to win it. Because I'm trying to create a culture. I'm trying to give my kids a winning pedigree. It's bullshit, man. Y'all stop bullshit, man. Stop being fraudulent out here with these kids, man. If you take their money to play on your teams and play in your organization, you need to be giving them the best possible service that it takes for a football coach to coach and develop your child. If you charging them for a service, period. It's straight like that. It's shame on you if you got a bunch of coaches out here that's treating these kids like with the mind of mediocrity. Shame on you if you treating these kids and you training these kids with a mediocre mindset because you say it's just spring. That's bullshit. Stop wasting parents' time. Stop wasting kids' time. Parents, stop taking your kids to programs that got a bunch of mediocre thinking coaches, a bunch of coaches who don't care about winning. They just want to have enough kids on their team to go out and play, just go through the motions of football. Stop taking them to these organizations. Straight up. Straight up. For real. For real. A lot of these coaches don't even know how to have practice, man. I'm going to give you a little tip. And I want some of y'all coaches, parents, to start sticking around to some of your youth football coaches' practices. If you got a youth football coach and you drop your kid off, and within 30 minutes of that practice, they're already running team stuff, meaning if they're already running plays, let's just say they already running plays within 15 to 30 minutes of your practice, that's a bad sign. Red flag. Red flag. You got a team that's already scrimmaging within 30 minutes of that football practice. Red flag. Why? Because you ain't teaching them shit. How you gonna put them in a team workout, a team scrimmage, or installations, running installs? You haven't even done indies. You haven't stretched. You run 2 laps, you get them in the huddle and talk to them, and then you go to running offensive plays. Red flag. That's all I can tell you. Red flag. A lot of these guys don't even know how to have practices. And I'm gonna get off that shit, man. But it's terrible. It's terrible. It's bad. It's bad. And we want to wonder why the top coaches are winning from year to year. Why are the same coaches winning every year? Well, it ain't happening by accident. They put the work in. The top coaches are winning, and it ain't happening by accident. Shout out to Mike, Coach Mike at McCaddenville. Shout out to you. You're doing your thing. You keeping the city, you keeping the state alive with your coaching. Ant Gibson, one of the top young coaches. And I'm gonna tell you why I talk about Ant. Tell you why I talk about Ant Gibson. Because Ant Gibson will take a team from age 7, 6, whatever age he does, and he takes them all the way up, and he kick your ass for 3, 4 years, put his kids, win a national championship, put his kids in high school. They're impact players right away in high school, 9th grade. They're performing right now. 10th grade, they're performing. And he goes back down, grab another team, and he does the same thing. He starts winning again at 7, 8, 9. You think that shit's happening by accident? No, it's not happening by accident. It's because he's putting in the work, right? He's figured out the formula, right? Shout out to Ant Gibson and the Scat Pack. CBE, I don't know what you did. From what I understand, CBE stacked the team. They got some kids from wherever. I don't even know CBE, to be honest. I can't really speak on them, but you beat Scat Pack. It's an accomplishment. You beat Scat Pack. Beat them when it counts. Hey, I'm a Scat Pack fan. I'm a Scat Pack fan. Right? But I'm a fan of youth football, period. Right? Shout out to that coach, Ant Gibson. Day. Hey, listen, man. Day, you've done a lot, and you continue to do a lot for youth football. It doesn't go unnoticed. It doesn't go unnoticed, man. Shout out to you for creating OTB. For those who don't know, go to Facebook, go to ETV Spotlight. Shout out to Day. Y'all can talk all the trash y'all want to about Day, but Day has brought the competition to the state of North Carolina for youth football. He has. You might not like the way he moved. You might not like the way he talked. You might not like the way he looked. You might not like Day. And 9 times out of 10 is for no real good reason. He's running one of the top organizations in the state. Shout out to Day. He's brought the competition to the state of North Carolina in youth football, period. So you can love him or like him or hate him. He's done his thing, right? And he continue to do it. Can he get better? When I talk to him, he always trying to figure out ways to get better. What can I do to get better? What events can I have to get better? What can we do to change the state of youth football? He always asks that. What can we do? He's always looking for some solutions. You may not think so, but he is. Shout out to Mo Evans, AYF president. president for a long time. If you're the president for a long time, that means you've done a pretty good job. If no one has taken over the presidency, then maybe you've done a pretty good job, right? So shout out to Mo Evans and the AYF. Shout out to Jeff Phillips, who continues to put together a pretty good product. Guys like Monte, Leon Brown. It's time to come to the table and talk about the state of youth football. Shout out to the Winston-Salem group, Reggie Ellerby. Shout out to the Winston-Salem Indians, who have existed for a long time. Nard, I'm not jumping in your shit, but we got to make sure that our kids are safe when we come and play football in Winston-Salem. We got to make sure our kids are safe when we come to Charlotte. Shout out to all these guys. It's time to sit down and have a roundtable discussion about changing the culture and the mindset and the perception of youth football in the state of North Carolina. We're North Carolina, man. Let's take some pride in that shit. When we cross the line, we got to be represented very well by the best coaches because we've done our due diligence. We've come together. Hell yeah, we going to compete. We're going to compete. If you're from Fayetteville, Raleigh, North Carolina, Charlotte, whatever city, Winston-Salem, Kernersville, Clemens, we're going to compete. Let's do it at a high level. Coaches, do your homework. Get your ass on YouTube. Get on Google. Sit down with a mentor or a coach that's done it already and get some tips. Don't let your ego separate you from being great. Stop it. You don't know that a lot of you guys have no idea how to coach this game. You don't. Don't be too proud, though. I got mad love for you football coaches. You're the front line. You are the front line. You get the first opportunity to introduce these kids to the game. You get the first opportunity to create the habits that they'll carry all the way through to high school. You get the first opportunity. Make it count. Take advantage of it. Get excited about it. Stop being mediocre coaches. And I'm not saying I'm the greatest football coach, but I can tell you right now, I'm very intentional about teaching the game, the fundamentals, creating a mindset, creating a culture for my kids to be able to thrive and make it to the next level. That's who I am. That's what the state of North Carolina has to be. We're responsible for these kids, man, once they're in front of us. Hey, no excuses for undercoaching. No excuses for undercoaching. Stop it. For real. Get these kids excited about the possibilities of facing the best coach. Straight up. And I know I'm going on a rant because I'm very passionate about youth football and youth football coaches doing the right thing. Straight up, for real. These brawls and shit, they got to stop, man. I know that was an isolated incident. I'm not looking down on the NC Giants. It's some guys that should have had their ass in the bleachers. It's some guys that shouldn't have been on the sideline, guys out there swinging and shit. Come on, man. We got choices, man. We shouldn't have, that shouldn't have happened. We shouldn't have been out there fighting in front of those kids. And I look at this brawl and the kids are watching. What do you think they think? It's okay, shit. I saw Uncle such and such doing, or Coach such and such out there swinging. I even saw my mom, my sister, my G-pop, my grandpop out there fighting. Come on, man. We got choices and we got to stop this shit because that could have ended very badly. And that's it, man. Hey, we're going to get back after it next week. the Freedom Spring Football League. We're gonna get back after it, and hopefully we can finish the season successfully. Um, Hopefully we can do a better job at hosting. I think we got a couple host games that's happening in Charlotte, and let's just make sure the same thing that happened in Clemens doesn't happen in Charlotte. So let's make sure we got everybody in place, man. I love you football. I love you football coaches and what you do and the time and effort that you put in. And I'm just asking for you, just like myself, to get better at this, to be intentional about getting better. When you sitting, hitting that L, smoking that blunt, whatever, and you just at the crib chilling, get your ass on the computer, on your phone, pull up some shit. Pull up something, your offenses and your defenses. Pull them up, man. Study the game. Study the game, man, about getting better, man. Hey, listen, I appreciate you guys taking the time out to listen. Those who are listening, we are live on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. For those who think our numbers aren't that well, we building very slow this platform. We haven't dove too deep into youth football, but I think we will. On the Line Sports Media will get a little bit more involved in youth football and youth sports because there's a demand and there's a need. So we'll get into it, and we appreciate you, man. And the fight is over. The Royal Rumble. Hey, shout out to my boy KK them, man. Y'all doing well on your on y'all's platform, man. I'm not sure of the other guy's name. He does a very good job. But KK, shout out to you, man, and your guys out in Winston for the platform that you have opened up, you've created. That you guys have done a very good job at capturing the audience. Let's just make sure we make this shit count, man. And once again, thank you guys for following. Make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel. Make sure you like us on Facebook, follow us on Facebook, like us on Instagram. And I'm your boy, Coach Booker, in the building, man. Hey, listen, one more shout out to my NC Ducks, 10U. We might not be the best team right now, and you better get me now. You better get me now, because we coming. And I'm out.